Hello and welcome back to our quiz game series. In the last episode, we added some critical fixes to our game, but in this episode, we can now add in our game flow. So we can ask questions, answer them, get points for them, but we can't go from question to question to question to question. So let's go and set up that part so we can make the whole game playable. So what's happening at the moment is our game mode is deciding when to ask a question. So let's take a look at the game mode. And the game mode here has ask question, where it's taking the current question index, which starts at 0, goes through that, sets up the answers, questions, and so on, and asks the question. That's telling the player controller to do that. The player controller is then starting a timer and then asking the question. When that timer expires, it's calling this timer expired. This is running on the server, remember? So here we have the game mode doing what we've done last time, which is revealing the answers correctly. So the thing I want to do here is I want to tell the game mode here to set up the next question. So on the game mode, we're going to do a function on here, and it's going to be called prepare next question. And in prepare next question, we're going to take the current question index and increment it. That means it's going to add 1 to it. I'm then going to set up a timer, and the timer will do for, let's say, 4 seconds. The event here, we're going to do create event. And this is then going to go ahead and ask the question again. So in the next question, the index is going to increase by 1, and in 4 seconds time, it's going to ask the next question. And next question index then would be get from the question pool, just fine, and rinse and repeat. Now, if the question index has reached the maximum amount of questions to ask, we want it to not do that and just end the round. So we're going to go ahead and have in the prepare next question, we're going to check to see if current question index here is greater than or equal to the maximum. So we're going to promote that to a variable and do maximum questions here. And in the round, essentially. Do that there. Sorry, that's going to false. There you go. So if we're not above the maximum questions, it'll just keep going until it is. The maximum questions here, it'll just rename that and do questions per round. There you go. Okay, so that will do questions per round. If it's say 5, it'll then ask 5 questions, and then it'll hit the true here, which is basically to say end of round. So let's make a function for that and do end round. Then the end round is going to get called on the event graph. So when we ask question, we want to check to see if the question index here is okay. In fact, actually, what we can do is we can just say to this thing not to do this check here. We'll take that out there and put it instead on the event graph. So at the start of the event, we do this check here for the current index. If it's not greater than or equal to, carry on. If it is, then we want to end the round. And the reason why I've done it here, rather than prepare next question, is because I need to check anyway on ask question whether or not I'm ending the round or asking another question. And I want to put end round on there, not here, because I want it to still wait on that last question there for 4 seconds before moving on to potentially the end of the round or asking the next question. So end round would happen, and then you probably want to show a screen to the players to say, hey, here you go. Now, one thing we've got to do, you'll see on the event graph, when we're adding the questions here, we ask question, we need to remove the current question from the screen. So ask question comes through, we start timer, ask question happens here, and we create the widget on the screen here. So before this happens, I need to remove the current question widget. So put a sequence right at the start here. And the current lot here is going to go on then 1. So it's going to do that second. The first thing it's going to do is take the current question widget, check if it's valid. And if it is valid, I want to remove it from parent. Okay, so that will remove the old one, put up the new one, and a go. let's go back to my game mode, and I'll put in the questions per round set to 2. We've only got 2 questions. So now we've got to do is call our game modes prepare next question on our player controller when we do the reveal answers. So where's reveal answers? Happen in there. And we'll take to prepare the next question. And that's it. So let's test that out. I'm just going to make this do 2 new windows. Okay. We do Egyptians and Egyptians. There we go. And then in 4 seconds time, it will then transfer over to the next question. And let's get one wrong for now. Okay, there you go. So now at the we've got a couple of errors here. Let's have a look at this. So access none trying to read property get answer slot by index. So this is when we're doing this one. So this is saying this is not valid, and that's basically because it's getting to the end here, not finding the correct answer in that selection. So all I need to do is on that where was it here is actually say is this valid. In fact, I'll just do that. Yeah. Right at the start, actually. We can do it there. It's valid. Crack on. That should stop those errors from coming up here. Okay. Perfect. Now, what happens at the end of the round is totally up to you. You may want to bring up the current leaderboard. You may want to do multiple rounds. That's really depending on what kind of game you're making. But essentially, one of the things you may want to do here is just have multiple rounds. So if I go to variables here, we can do current round index, be an integer. And we just increment it. At the end round, maybe we'll put up like a scoreboard or something with a timer. I don't know, whatever you want to do. But the main thing is you want to indicate that you want to change the round here. And then we'll make another function here to start the round. So after a certain amount of time, we're going to do start round. And the round here is then going to get the next category and put it into here, or give the player a choice of category and put it into here. Whatever the case may be, we need to you need to come up with what you want it to do, and we just put it in here. So we change category. If you're going to change category, you just change it to whatever you like. You can make it randomized if you want. Totally up to you. And then you go around to asking questions again. Just don't forget when you do start round, you are setting the questions current question index here to 0. So when it sets it to 0, it resets it so it can count again. So that kind of brings us to the end of the quiz series. The part of what to do in between rounds is totally up to you. You may want to do something interesting or kooky or weird. But what I'd be interested to know is, what would you like to see? Is there anything else that you want to see added to this series or shown how to do if you're not too sure how to solve that problem? But I do like to leave a little bit of ambiguity at the end there so you can try and figure out for yourself what to do next. But just remember, if we set that back down to 0, choose a category. Again, that could be randomized. It could be like a UI put on the screen for the player to choose one. Whatever it may be, totally up to you. But I'd be interested to hear what you want to see added to this series in the future. So leave a comment below with what you want to see. If you like what I do and want to support the channel and the content I make, please consider subscribing to us on Patreon. Patreon will give you access to all our videos early from just $1 a month, and also access to project files and much more from $10 and higher. By all means, check it out. It's well worthwhile, and it massively helps us do this every day. So thank you so much for your support, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye, everyone.